A sada gost koji vam krade poslove. Čovjek koji je imigrirao u Hrvatsku. Dakle, luđak. Profesor koji predaje vašoj djeci. Doktor koji krade posla našim piscima. Kravar. Ko? Di? Šta?
Good to see you. Good to see you too, man.
Grab a chair.
Man, crazy. Crazy.
Wow. Wow. Wow, eh? What a band, huh?
I can't believe it. I can't believe it. Yeah.
Right?
I had no idea the studio was this big.
It's amazing. It's amazing. All the people.
Just incredible.
Crazy. We are bankrupt right now because of all the people we have to pay.
Oh, no, you didn't pay people. They love you.
Oh, no, that's for sure. But they are paying us. That's basically.
No, okay.
That's our motto, the way we make money.
Well, it's
people pay us.
like self-management.
Yes. The public tribunes. But Cody, okay, I gotta ask you first, like Cody Brown, right?
Yes, yeah.
So what's your favorite Christmas movie?
Home Alone.
Home Alone, okay, yeah. Thank God. But like, what's the McClane when you were growing up? Die Hard went out. Was there a lot of McClane jokes happening?
No, because nobody used my middle name in America, right? Because it's only here because you guys don't have middle names.
Okay.
And so everybody insists on calling me Cody Brown, but in America I'm just Cody Brown.
Cody Brown.
So no one knew my middle name was McClane.
And you're an Okie.
Yeah.
Right, so from Tulsa.
Yeah.
Right. Is it a cowboy place?
More so than here.
Really?
Yes. Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's a cowboy place. Although, I don't know, there's some
But
weird...
our handball, like, national team is called Cowboys.
Handball. I'm sorry. Look, I've accepted Nogomet. I've accepted football, you know, as a religion.
Okay.
I just can't get into handball. And then you have water polo, which is like handball but worse because it's in
Maybe
water.
you were not poor enough. Okay, Ben, calm down, Ben. Calm down. You are a professor.
I'm technically a senior lecturer.
You're a senior lecturer
Yes.
at Croatian Faculty of Political Sciences.
Yes.
And you are brainwashing our youth, right?
Trying to, but they're very resistant.
They're very resistant, right?
Yes.
So what's the biggest thing that it seems to you is hard to wash away?
Indifference.
Indifference.
Yeah, just indifference. I mean, my class
They're like
is
dirty and indifference.
I mean, yeah, my class
Big
is
stains.
not a hard class, and I have students who are very happy with a 2 or a 3, and I wish they would aspire to do better and to.
Is it because they have a little faith that this kind of grades will be in any way important later, or they just don't think that the whole like college or high university is not going to be used?
I think it's both. I think it's a little bit of both. You know, I mean, I think the whole, I don't know, society tells them that they're dumb for studying political science or journalism. Which
Oh, really?
I teach both. Yeah.
You dumb.
Yeah, that's what the society tells them.
What the smart people study? Nothing?
Fair,
Fair, okay.
medicine,
Oh,
law.
okay.
Yeah, I mean, but the people who say this have no idea what these things actually are. You know, they just know that that's where you'll get a job.
What can somebody with political sciences do in their life besides political satire?
You could work on campaigns. You could work in government. You could, I mean, the way that the job market's working now is if you have an ability to be analytical and understand a little bit of statistics or something, you know, you can. There's a lot of jobs for those people. You know, what matters. This is kind of similar in the U.S. In the U.S., your degree isn't that important for your profession. It just kind of shows you that you have a brain and that you can think. And so, you know, what is there for political science? Political scientists? Well, anything that involves, you know, being analytical in numbers to a certain extent, or, you know, cultural things, consulting. I hate to say it, but PR would probably even be good.
Okay.
Messaging,
but
you know.
Do you think that a majority of your students plan to leave Croatia?
Most of them actually don't want to. I mean, they would like to stay. That's what they tell me, at least.
They say, I would like to stay. That sounds like they're kind of thinking they're going to leave.
I think they're open to the possibility. I mean, I'm not going to tell anybody to stay since I didn't stick around.
What I'm asking you is, like, is political science more translatable to working abroad than, for example, law is, right? Because you're kind of stuck with Croatian law in a way, but with politics you're not.
Right.
I mean, we're going to mention in this conversation a little bit about American politics, but like a Croatian who has diploma in political sciences in Zagreb, he can work in the United States. Not immediately, but like, I mean, he can translate his knowledge.
Yeah, but why would he want to?
I don't know. You tell me. I mean, they're paying you for that.
If you can, not to work in America. If you could work in Europe, stay in Europe.
Yeah, but Europe is so boring. I mean, it's less and less boring, but America is so crazy interesting, isn't it?
If you like, mass shootings and not having health care, sure, it's great.
Well, that's a dream of every Croatian.
And fascism, well, I guess we have that in Europe too.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, Croatia is now becoming incredibly boring, just like the rest of Europe, right? And the United States, you can hear the war trumpets. I think that's something is more inclined with our ethos.
Yeah, because, people in Poland in 1939 were like, oh, at least it's not boring.
Exactly. Have you been to Poland lately?
No, I've never been to Poland.
So boring.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, bring it back. I'm on Poland 1943.
But before we go back to politics, I just want to ask, so like, you're a professor, right? But besides that, you're also spewing your propaganda through your literary work, right? Your literary work is like, you have like 3 books already out.
Yeah.
And you're working on the 4th one?
Maybe. I don't know. I've got one that's kind of done, and then I'm doing another one, but...
So the first 2 are hits when it comes to representing Croatia in a way.
Yeah, sure.
Right, so a Croatian-American author writing about Croatia. Both of the books, Propuh Papuče i Punica and Croatia Strikes Back, are about your experience as a Croatian... As an American Croatian,
it's my story from stranac to Hrvatski zet.
Right, but it started with Zagreb blog, or the idea for the book was before that.
Well, I always wanted to write books, but the blog sort of helped me refine the approach and the angle. So yeah,
right, but it's a niche thing, but yet people do buy it a lot, don't they?
Quite a few, yeah.
Right, so but they come from like Croatians read it for the purposes of like having a little bit of feel like they're reading.
Well, some read it because they have to, because it's part of lectira.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. That's right. Oh my God! Now you're part of the mainstream system of oppression now. So what year is that?
First year of high school. Yeah.
Okay, cool. And did you get any feedback from the kids or parents from the kids? Kids, like you stop kids on the street. Hey, did you like the book?
Actually, no, this is true. I got messages on my Instagram.
Okay.
From like students being like, usually I don't like to read, but I liked your book, so well done. Right?
Oh, wow.
I had to read it for lectira.
Bravo, maestro.
Yeah, I was like, all right, there we go.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, so I've gotten 2 of those messages, and then I've been to several schools where they've read it, and they've had me as a guest and stuff like that.
Okay, but like...
So, which they're interested when it's then, and then when they become my students, they're like...
But I guess it's a level of like Croatian type of kishon in a way, like writing stories that are connected with your like daily life.
Yeah.
But from a perspective that usually Croatians don't see. I think, because I was on a couple of your stand-up acts as well. You're a stand-up comedian as well. Looking like a funny guy. And as a stand-up comedian, I love your jokes about how... you see this parts of Croatia that are kind of so common for us that we don't even like get them. For example, the names, right?
Yeah.
So you have, I mean, I don't want to steal your jokes, but you realize the way that we say about the jokes. You know, I'm stealing them all the time. Hopefully you're not watching prime time.
You mean like how you guys call yourself? First off, you say I call myself, so that's
Zovem, right?
Yeah, that sounds very epic. Right, that's like something like Lord of the Rings, right? And then you have these names, like I call myself Peace Defender, Zovem se Branimir, right? Stuff like that, like when you break it down. So, and then my favorite is I call myself Yes Peace.
Yes Peace.
Zovem se Damir.
Okay, no, that's true. It's true. I mean, I think it's like a little bit of like epic historical Slavic names that we don't even acknowledge that. Like, we don't register that. But when you mentioned it, and there's a lot of jokes that you do, like about our parking optimism.
Yeah.
Right? The Croatians are incredibly optimistic people, basically?
No. So the only time Croatians are optimistic is when it comes to finding a parking space and being on time. Right. These are the only, Every other time you're like, I'm gonna do this, like, it's never gonna work. I'm like, we're gonna be late. No, we'll be right on time. Well, we're not gonna find parking. Oh, yes, we will. You know.
Why do you think that's the only places we're optimistic?
I have no idea. I don't know. I don't know.
I mean, you think it's connected with travel? The idea that travel in Croatia is short and sweet,
or it's connected to the idea that, people used to have less cars, and so there was parking, and now people there's too many cars, and there's not enough parking.
Yeah, that's true. Everything's falling apart.
I mean, it's but it's very strange, and it could also be that Croatians are very creative. See, I'm rigid in what I consider a parking space, and Croatians are very creative in what they consider a parking space. So, it's like maybe there's this optimism that it's not about finding parking, it's about making a space to park, because you have no issues just parking on the sidewalk.
You will create it out of nothing.
You'll just park on the sidewalk or wedge it in there, or, get to the tree so then the pauk can't come and get, like...
Is the size of the cars also like a play here? Like this idea that, like in the United States, we all have a concept. Is it true that everything is bigger in Texas, in a sense, like everything is bigger?
No, the penises aren't, but the dicks are.
Okay. But so the cars are bigger in the United States.
Well, no, it's not just that.
When was the last time you were in the United
Well, come on.
States?
No, it's not about the size of the cars. It's about the fact that
Parking spaces.
about the cities that, like my hometown, Tulsa, was built for cars. It's not a place for people. It's a place for cars. And so there's tons of parking. That's how it is. So there's and so you always park where there's a parking space. Zagreb was never meant to be a capital city. It's Dalmatia definitely wasn't built for cars. Where the roads in Dalmatia are literally thousands of years old, and so that's why parking is such an issue. I don't know why you guys are optimistic about it, but
Yeah, well, that's a weird thing. You don't think we're generally optimistic people?
no, absolutely not.
Like lower than average. That's what you say. Like on the global scale.
I mean,
your experience.
In my experience with people from different places, Americans are overly optimistic. Like we're too optimistic.
We're not gonna become a fascist dictatorship.
Yeah, like I'm still optimistic that maybe it's gonna work out.
Okay.
Right? Like I don't know how, but maybe. But so I think that you can be too optimistic, but I think Croatians are too pessimistic at times.
But are Croatians right when it comes to being pessimistic about the future of the world?
Yes. And I'll give you an example. I teach a class with a bunch of American students, right? And these are students that are studying like business and engineering, right? As an adjunct. I do it with a professor who's Croatian but lives in America. And, in America we have this idea that you don't need connections, right? It's such a meritocratic country that you can just, by your own initiative and hard work, you can move up, right? And but these students, we ask them, because we talk about connections, because it's a class about transitional countries and business and stuff. So we talk about Croatia. But for these students to get their internships and their positions that they get, they all go through connections. And so whereas Croatians they assume you need connections for everything, I think that that's more realistic to how most of the world works.
Right?
Whereas in America, and this is one of the problems, is that we have all these optimistic expectations that reality doesn't live up to. And then it creates this confusion and anger, essentially.
Yeah, I mean, but I think in Croatia, because it's a smaller country in a way, nepotism, it's much more easier to spot, right? It's going to be somebody's nephew or an uncle or something like that. In the United States, if you have, for example, the president elects a minister, well, not a minister, but how do you call it? A deputy for something, a czar, a health czar. Or
you mean a secretary? A
secretary, right. A secretary of something. Now, they can be connected business-wise, but it will not be automatically seen because they are not cousins. They're not brothers and sisters.
Right. They're not from the same small village,
right?
Or something.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I think it's more easy. It's easier to perceive something like that happening in Croatia.
The United States is an oligarchy, right? I mean, to a certain extent,
and financially, politically.
Yeah, I mean, it's controlled by not controlled as in like the puppet master thing, but as in the network of incentives and how policy gets enacted and what policy gets pushed through is largely related to the will of the top few percentage of the public.
Cody McLean Brown, are you a communist? Okay.
Probably.
Okay. But it's hard to be a communist in Croatia, is it? Or than the United States?
Well, it depends on what you mean by a communist. I'm not a Bolshevik. I'm not like,
I'm just joking. I'm trying to make like an analogy between. So there's like, you're looking at the United States, calling it an oligarchy. You wouldn't call Croatia an oligarchy, right?
No.
But what's the difference? What's the main difference?
You have public health care and public universities and, you know, a lot of things that are actually for the public that the public wants.
Yeah, but we inherited that from those dirty
okay,
communists.
but it's been maintained, you know, for now.
For now.
Well, but I mean,
until we finish the transition.
But even you know, I think that I mean, this is such a complicated question. I'll tell you what's interesting for me is growing up in the United States, you know, and learning that communism was bad and blah 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 and all that stuff. Coming here and seeing how much infrastructure, buildings, and places like this and things like this were built without the motive of profit. That's interesting for an American, right?
Okay, but
so because, you know, my Punica's apartment was, you know, owned by Split Brodogradilišta that they bought from whoever built it, but it wasn't done for the profit motive. You know, you don't have these big land developers and stuff like that. So that's kind of interesting.
Okay, well, wasn't it paid by American tax dollars?
What?
Well, you know, Yugoslavia was definitely.
Oh, you mean
with? No, I'm just joking. I'm just pointing out. So, but it goes into the line of like a type of let's say prejudice that we have. So you are now living in Croatia for how long now?
12 years, I think.
12 years. Are you a citizen, Cody Brown? Why not?
Because it's a pain in the butt. I will apply for citizenship in the next couple weeks.
For realsies this time?
Yeah, the problem was I have to...
Pinky promise?
Sure. And then can I come back on the show?
Yeah.
When I have državljanstvo?
Oh yeah, a real Croatian.
I mean, the problem is I have to give MOOP all the stuff I already gave them, but I had to go to America to get that stuff again.
Like the documents?
Yeah.
Like your birth certificate?
Yes, even though I have Stani Boravak.
Okay.
And the only way I can get that is if I give them all the documents that I've already given them. I have to then give them those documents
thing, like,
again.
Not older than 6 months kind of stuff?
I hope not. I mean, I hope so, yeah.
So you give them this and you become a Croatian.
I should, yeah. I have to write a letter about why I want to be Croatian.
What's it going to be in the letter?
I don't know. Probably something about,
give us a teaser. Come on.
My
the audience wants it.
My Punica and the birthplace of my daughter. I don't know.
Oh, okay. My Punica.
Yeah,
oh, the heart of it. Oh, you're doing a little bit of stand-up. You know, how do you feel? How do you feel about Croatian stand-up? Your experience.
It's growing, that's for sure. There's tons of people doing it now.
That's what people say about cancer. That is not something that is necessarily a good thing.
Yeah, well...
But no, I agree. I really enjoy the growth of Croatian stand-up comedy. Yeah. That's true.
You know, and it's a pretty supportive community, right? Of the stand-up community. I mean, there's always, you know, comedians are always kind of jerks, but most everybody that I know is really nice. And it's, you know, it's there's no money in it, so we're not going to become drug addicts because there's no way to afford.
Damn it!
I know, but just like everything in Croatia, there's no real money in it unless you work for
big business. You got to do big
something,
business,
you know, yeah.
No, but you're doing it in a combination of Croatian and English, mostly English, but then a little bit of sprinkled.
The set's in English, but I have jokes about Croatian phrases and words that I don't understand. And,
do you think Croatians who does appreciate it more? Like Croatians do it, like when they listen to your stand-up, or like foreigners?
No. It's very funny.
Strangers.
Because sometimes they'll like put me on a program that's like, you know, comedy in English, so we'll get like foreigners, and none of my material works with foreigners
because they don't get the jokes.
Right. So if it's foreigners that have been here for a while or are married and like have to deal with the same, then they get the jokes. But a Croatian audience is always much better for me than a foreign audience.
Are you a celebrity, semi-celebrity already? Do people like...
Yeah, I mean, I say I'm famous.
Famous?
Famous, yeah.
Famous, okay. And did you have like interesting experience when it came to that, besides kids sending sliding you DMs in your inbox?
Yeah, well, today at the Kia place, the guy, he's like, you seem familiar. Are you on TV talking about Propo all the time? I was like,
really?
Yep. So yeah,
a meteorologist.
So
master of the wind.
Yeah, the best was one time when I was getting something from a kiosk, and this woman said, "Yes, to lead Cody," and I was like, "Yes, right." And then she said, "Vaše blog je super." And I was like, wow.
That's nice.
Yeah.
You know, the salt of the earth, right?
Yes, kiosk lady knew who I was.
That's cool. What's your favorite color? What's your favorite dog? What's your favorite music?
I thought Jon Stewart was going to be here.
Yeah, well, we fired the fucker, right? We don't need him. We don't need them.
Yeah.
Cody, just to finish it off, are you going to be the Croatian-American comic superstar? Is that your plan?
No.
Okay, because that's our plan. So, what was the favorite part of last 400 episodes of Primetime?
I'll tell you what my favorite. Two. When you asked Jan if he was going to watch Eurosong, and he said Eurosong is for debili, right? And then you have this scene where you cry, and then the other one where you told Jan that you're going to be late, and he was like, "No, we have the new app." And you were like, "From Homer?" Because it's like ep, like epic. And it was about HPV helicopter coming in. I really want you all to make a best of reel of all those little skits you had at the beginning of the episodes, because I loved them. And I even go back and through the old things and find them. I like them partly because it's what I can understand. Right, because you get a little too highbrow in your bits, and Domagoj too. So it's hard for me to grasp. But to me, those are just hilarious, and I want a reel of all of them.
Oh, thank you so much, and we'll make it just for you, Cody. Thank you for coming.
Borna.
A big applause, and for the band.